Yes! Yes! Yes! The Sixers got the W tonight, 118-94. They take down the Minnesota Timberwolves. They move on to 14-6, 4-5 on the road this season. Today we are talking about our top takeaways. We are grading this squad, this performance, and we're going to give a player of the game. Joining me today is my man, Justin. You know him on Twitter at J_Persichetti. Justin, what's good, man?
Listen, you can't go wrong with the Sixers W. Obviously, it was a bit of a boring game on the boring side. Got a little more exciting for our man Joel Embiid at the end. But what can we say? Sixers W, first in the East. In my opinion, best team in the NBA. We're loving it. We're loving it.
The good keeps rolling, although the first half was a little bit sloppy. It was a little bit of a slow burn, but really we're going to talk about that second half. Also joining us today is my man, Coyle. Follow him on Twitter at Rosen24. Coyle, what's up?
Supplying the wrong shot chart all night. Just saying.
All right, guys. Let's really break down our top takeaways of this game. And you have to lead off with Joel Embiid, 37 points in 27 minutes. He was 10 of 19 from the field, although he was 2 of 11 to start in that second quarter. But really, the free throws. The free throws take center stage in this game. He finished 16 of 18 from the free throw line. And that's got to be one of the biggest things that has been so impressive of Joel Embiid this season. Joel Embiid is eating at the free throw line. You look at his free throw attempt rate this season. It is 67.9%. You go back a year, 54.3%. The year before that, 54.1%. This guy is eating at the line. When Joel Embiid is eating at the line, good things happen to the Philadelphia 76ers. Justin, what's one of your takeaways of this game?
Rebounds. We had 51 rebounds to their 38. That's a pretty big disparity right there. We have 12 offensive rebounds to their 4. We had 10 turnovers to their 18. And they had almost 30 fouls on this. So like you said, the free throw was a big key to this game. Something I want to say that's interesting is we only had 16 three-point attempts today. That's not normal. That is not normal for this team. Now, if Jason was here talking about shot charts, he would be like, this is not the Morey shot chart that the Sixers team wants to execute. So that to me was a little interesting that we were not pulling threes as much as we typically would. Defensively, looking killer as usual, 11 steals and 6 blocks. Yeah. I mean, we kicked it pretty handily and pretty easily, it seemed like. That once we actually turned it on in the third, it seemed like we were able to really handle this game.
And how many times during our watch parties do we give credit to Doc Rivers? Doc Rivers gets this team prepared. Doc Rivers adjusts. How many times have we seen it? Again and again and again, Doc Rivers adjusts. The Sixers outscored the Timberwolves 65-46 in that second half. The Sixers continue to be one of the best second half differential teams in the NBA. And this is something that I love Brett Brown. I was a Brett Brown guy, but it's obvious. It is so beyond obvious the impact Doc Rivers has had on this team. Coyle, what is one of your takeaways?
Free throws win games. Where it's taught in high school, it's taught in college, and it's proven in the NBA. 38 free throws tonight, shooting 84%. It's going to win you games. Free throws win games. They'll win you at the end of the game when you need to make them, and they'll win throughout the entire game. That's basically is what this team showed us tonight. On a bad shooting night. On the first half was one of the worst shooting I think not I've seen all season, but it was an awful shooting game, or an awful offensive, I should say, type of game for them. So free throws win you games.
You talk about shooting, like the Sixers ended up shooting 50% from three-point range in this game, 8 of 16. They started out the game 2 of 11 from three-point range. Think about how locked in this team was in that second half. It's truly impressive. Let's go on. Anybody else?
That comes back to you talking about Doc Rivers, of how he's able to get this team locked in and how he's able to adjust during halftimes. We have been a third and fourth quarter team this entire season. The entire season, third and fourth, have been outstanding basketball to watch. And that's all comes back to Doc. The doctor is in. Eat your no, I was gonna say eat your apple, that's dentist. Whatever. I'm just saying the doc is in.
All right. Yeah, you look at defensively. Like defensively, the Sixers held the Minnesota Timberwolves to 46 points, 94 points overall. That's what we're talking about. That fourth quarter, third quarter defensive clamps. That is so fun to watch as a Sixers fan. I'm in my mid-30s, so I'd love to see me some Sixers basketball, an identity that's built around defense. And it's just so much fun to watch. I go straight to Joel Embiid's true shooting percentage. Joel Embiid's true shooting percentage in January is nearly 68%. 68% is just dominating. Like you talk about free throw rate per field goal attempts, but true shooting percentage, this guy, Joel Embiid, is simply locked in.
He missed a lot of makeable shots.
Jason,
overall defense was good all game. And so, your offense is, and I've said it a million times, not always going to be great. You're going to miss shots. You're going to miss open shots. But you got to keep playing. Thought our guys did that. And eventually, once the shots start going in, we're in great shape.
And then obviously, what can you say about Joel at this point? It feels like these sort of games are just coming just naturally to him now.
Yeah, they are. I told him at halftime, I thought, he missed very makeable shots, but I thought he was letting them off the hook. And I thought in the second half, he not only got the ball in the same spot, but then he got deep. And once he got that going, we are in great shape.
Nice stuff.
Keith? I guess in a follow-up to Kyle's question, you look at how your team used to play in games like this. They would have a letdown, so to speak, game. But it seems like they just took advantage of everything in the third quarter.
Yeah, I thought we did it in the first two, Keith. We just couldn't make a shot, But we just kept playing defense. Offensively, I thought the second half we got even better shots. I thought Joel posted deeper in the second half. And we were waiting for them to trap. They didn't, so we just kept going to it. Someone asked me before the game, if you run a play, you run it again. Yeah, you run it over and over again. And that's basically what we did in the third quarter. Once they didn't stop it, we kept going with it.
Are you seeing growth in your team? Because, early on, they would have, this type of games that you guys would typically struggle in.
Yeah, I'm not a history major, Keith, honestly. But I don't think about that. I'm a guy that looks like where are we going and not where we've been. You know what I'm saying? So some of those games we had a lot of injuries. Some of them, the Brooklyn game, we played poorly. We deserved to lose that game. But tonight we took care of business and it was good to see.
Thank you.
We'll go to Lauren Rosen next and then Mark Narducci. But Lauren, go ahead.
Hey, Doc. I'm curious again about that second unit plus Tobias that was really good the other night and then great again tonight in the second half. And I imagine that moving forward, you'd hope to reduce Tobias's minutes in those situations. But how heartening has it been to see them work together the way
it's been great. I mean, we obviously, it's just so tough right now without having another four that we either got to stretch Ben's minutes or Tobias minutes every night. I don't love it, honestly, Lauren, but it's what we have to do until we get some reinforcements.
Mark Narducci.
Doc, Joel got to the free throw line again, double digit times this year. When he does that, he's almost unstoppable. Did you see the matchup that he was on with Davis, and you guys even were trying to go to him even more down there?
Yeah, I just saw we had an advantage in size. We put all the shooting around him. And we really, in the third quarter, we talked about it, like pick your poison. I thought in the first half, we tried to do it, and Joel elected to take the quick shot instead of really getting the ball deep in the post. He's so hard to guard, Mark. Like, if you're going to foul him or he's going to score, and then when you trap him, with our passing, he creates a lot of offense with the one pass to the post.
Yeah, thank you.
The next two will be Kai and Paul. Go ahead, Kai.
Hey, Coach. Just to kind of refer back to Kyle's question earlier about like the defensive energy, the effort, and things like that. It kind of seemed like Matisse just really come off the bench. I think he had 3 steals, 2 blocks. Like, what can you say about his effort, his energy right now? What he's doing out there?
He had 12 deflections by himself in the one quarter. Like, and Joel was amazing. But if I was giving a game ball out, it probably would be Matisse, or we'd split it with those two. Because I thought he was a different make. I thought he frustrated Rubio, and then I thought he was phenomenal in Angelo Russell. So he's just a hell of a defender. He's got his legs under him now. He knows what we expect of him, and he's been terrific.
And then also just because Matisse really hasn't been a part of the rotation at the beginning of the season, and he didn't let him get him down. He kind of kept pushing forward. What's it say about his resilience? Like to just kind of keep pushing.
It says that we are a deep team. He understood. He missed count for the most part. We assured him that minutes would come, but we also told him we're not going to give him to him. If he wants him, go get him. And he did that. And that's great.
Thanks, Coach.
Paul Hundrick.
Hey, Doc. I actually also wanted to ask about Matisse as well. Just last year as a rookie, he really struggled with like that discipline of walking that fine line of, going for steals and maybe being over aggressive, committing fouls. Yeah. And it seems like he's done a much better job this season. Is it something that you or Dan Burke have done to kind of instill in him, or is it just natural progression and maturity as a player?
A little bit of both, but we have been all over him about it. I can tell you that. We show him on film. We show him the gambles, putting himself in a bad position. Sometimes, even when you don't see what he's doing, it creates a trigger effect, a chain effect. He's been solid defensively. And I told him he's so good defensively. Solid is good. You don't need to do more. You're going to get all the deflections and steals just by being solid, and he's doing that.
Thanks, man.
Time for just one more, actually, with Coach. It'll be Jackson Frank. Go ahead, Jackson.
Hey, Doc. Similar questions Lauren asked. Last couple of games, you've had bench units where it's, or not all bench units, but units where Ben or Tobias has been out there with the bench guys. Is that something that you like seeing, or is it just more of a product of Mike Scott's absence right now?
I like anyway one of the three. Joel, Tobias have been on the floor at all times. I don't like how we're doing it right now because we're extending either one of their minutes every night. I don't like that. But without a four, we literally have no choice in doing it. We play first, or whoever wants to claim the four. I think Matisse caught himself the four tonight at one stretch. But it's, you play the right team, a bigger team, that's really difficult. So I do like one of those three on the floor at all times. I think it's good for us. But we're deep enough not to. But most games I'll have one on the floor.
Thank you. All right, all set. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that is Doc Rivers.
Sorry to bogart everything, interrupt. I was watching Tobias talk, and then I realized, you know what, I could jump on here and get Doc up on there. So,
all right, so we're in the middle of our Sixers versus Timberwolves post-game show. Jason, quick thoughts on today's W.
It's kind of the game I expected. I didn't expect a 3 for 17 shooting up front, but I liked the shots they were getting. And it just felt, and I tweeted it out at halftime, it just felt like the fact that they were ahead at all meant this was going to be a blowout, because teams don't shoot 35% against bad defenses for an entire game. So that shot Let me bring up a shot chart. Well, I can't. Can I?
Ooh, shot chart.
Actually have going back to pregame. Everybody should come to pregame. I see a lot of people in postgame. We had a D'Angelo Russell discussion.
We did. We had an
Having a
interesting
shot chart tonight.
we
He
were
did not. What's that?
We were talking about who would be the player of the game tonight, and I know people are going to say Joel Embiid, but for me, you look at that Sixers second half, 65-46. Doc Rivers again and again continues to show the ability to adjust and really make this team a second half team, especially leading off defensively. Doc Rivers, I know he's not a player, but I think Doc Rivers continues to show just how valuable he has been this season. Any comments on how Doc Rivers has made an impact on the Sixers roster?
I think he's, while adding in complex elements, X's and O's, he's also managed to really simplify what he's asking each of those players to do. And the result of that is guys are just much more comfortable. I mean, you can just see the comfort level that a Tobias Harris has. I just think one of the good things I think that he did tonight, which didn't work, but what I really liked was very clear to me, their plan was to get Ben Simmons going. So right up front, they essentially let Ben go get shots. Now, they didn't fall. But that was like one of those things that a coach is going to do to a guy and say, you know what? This is an opponent we think you can exploit. So I just like, it's very subtle things. His confidence, the difference between him and Brett Brown for me, especially in these press availabilities, is the ease and confidence. He knows what he is. He knows what he can do. He's not, it doesn't feel desperate. Like he's trying to, if he can just rah enough, get these guys to develop. It's just there's an ease, a comfort. He's comfortable in his own skin. And I think the players are feeling more comfortable in their skin.
I want to touch on that too, because I don't disagree with you at all. Like Doc Rivers, you can see even in his post game press conferences or his pregame, whatever, is that he's okay saying I don't know. He's like, and he's chill about it too. He's like, someone can ask a question, and be like, dude, I don't know. That's not my job. like he's very real. I think not only does that help the players in the sense that he's gonna be straight up with you, but I think it also like he's going to be loved even more by Philly fans, because Philly fans are some of the most educated fans out there. And it's something that all we as fans of the team want is honesty and just good play. And that's what he's giving you.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, really quick, Sophia, we can talk Billie Eilish. Let's talk Van Halen while we do it. How about we do that? I will say I saw her Hot Ones episode with the wings. She won me over a little bit, just a little bit.
Oh my goodness!
But no, I think bringing in Doc also has
coming up next.
There you go.
Tobias Harris will be next.
Sorry, go ahead, Chris. While we're waiting.
Yeah, so Doc having his winning background or having the pedigree that he has also demands a little bit more respect than what we had with Brett Brown. And I think that's a lot to do with the fan base in general, but also the players. Because you had a lot of young players coming in that were with a new coach coming from a coach with pedigree, thinking that, you may be getting that same type of coach or that same type of person that's coming in, and it wasn't necessarily the same. So I think that you had a much different kind kind of grouping of coaches. I mean, looking at assistant coaching and looking at the coaching group that he brought in, it is such a just monstrous amount of talent, and amount of amazing people that are able to coach these players. Tab, you're mute.
Sorry. I look at the Sixers defensive coach, Dan Burke. Dan Burke doesn't get enough credit. And that is something that I don't think enough people talk about. Like the Sixers' defensive efficiency, when they were fully healthy, were the number one team in the NBA. Then COVID hit. Now you look at tonight, they hold the Timberwolves, albeit a not a great team, to 94 points. The Sixers are fourth in the league in second half margin at 2.3.
Lauren, you'll be first. Go ahead.
Let's go to the press conference right now.
Thanks, guys. When you and the rest of the starters all play on the road, you guys haven't lost yet. How good does it feel for you to be making the same statement on the road as you are at home this year?
It feels good. I mean, we know as a group that's an area from the beginning of the season that we needed to be better in. So tonight, it was a good way for us to get going, get out. I thought first half we didn't have the energy we really wanted. We was able to get that in the second half with our defense, with our energy, and just getting out. And Joel did his thing down low of making plays and scoring the basketball for us. So from there we was able to just gain some success and keep it going.
Doc told us that it feels like at this point when Joel has the ball, he's either going to get fouled or he's going to score. And from your perspective, sharing the court with him, what's it like to be out there with someone that's just going to get it done no matter what?
It's just dominance on his part. I think, he's figured it out and he's done such a good job of creating plays for other guys out of the post. So teams now, they have to, tonight they had to guard him straight up. So he's continuing to figure that out, continue to be dominant out there, and it's a pleasure to be able to be on the floor with him when he has that demeanor and he's going like that. It makes us a really great team.
We'll go to Mark and Keith with the next two, starting with Mark.
Hey, Tobias, Doc told us about the lift Matisse gave you guys tonight defensively. Could you talk about that and also really what he's been doing this year? It looks like as well as he played last year on defense, he's maybe taking it up a level. Yeah, I mean, we know what Matisse brings to the table defensively. Like tonight, you just saw an exhibition of how effective he is on the ball. He gets his hands on a lot of loose basketballs on the floor. His hustle, his length out there. So you can put him on anybody, pretty much 1 through 5, and he's able to hold his own. So that gave us a huge spark, especially with the second unit. And, as time continues to come and he continues to get confident, he's going to start knocking down those shots and taking advantage of different ways he can score offensively. And that's going to be key for us. Okay, thank you. No problem.
Keith.
What's up, Tobias?
What's up, Keith?
Tobias, do you look at it as, it was just a matter of having all 5 of your starters? Or do you look at it as this is a growth for this team? Because, even going back to last year, I know it's a different team, but it just seems like this was would have been a letdown game for y'all. And it just seems like y'all handled business.
Yeah, we know through the year just how good we have to be on the road to win. And, we have to be good, not just the nights where we're playing, the reigning champions. We have to be good versus whoever we're going against. We have to respect our opponent. And I thought tonight, second half, we really had a formula of how we were going to win a basketball game, and that was defense first. Offensively, just picking apart where we can get at. But it's growth from the group. It's growth from last year to this year. But more individually, is guys just looking themselves in the mirror and saying, we have to have that energy on the road, no matter who we're playing against. So, it's a good win for us, and we got another one we got to get. 2 more on this trip, and we got to handle our business.
Right. And talk about that third quarter. I mean, you look at Joel in the first, I mean, he did make a lot of foul shots, but he was 4 for 12. That third quarter, he was 6 for 7. He scored the first 8 points for y'all in that third quarter. Can you just talk about how dominant he was?
Yeah, I mean, he was just in a flow. I thought, in the beginning of the game, he had a couple easy ones that didn't go his way. He came out in the timeout, and I told him, I said, I think you got to get on the bike. You don't look too loose out there. So, he was like, yeah, you're right. So, they got back going. But sometimes it's like we expect greatness of him. So when he missed like 2 or 3, we're like, oh my, like what's going on, But he was able to get right, which we expect, and we'll continue to feed him. But second half, he was just in his bag of tricks of being able to create and score. And, it's just a full display of size, strength, and skill on the floor.
Thanks, Tobias.
Yep.
Time for just one more right now with Kai Carlin.
Hey, what's going on, Tobias? I wanted to get your thoughts. I guess Doc has kind of been having you lead, like kind of like you and 4 second unit players because you guys haven't had Mike. So what's that kind of been like for you to kind of like lead the second unit, lead the offensive force there a little bit?
Yeah, just finding different ways we can be effective. So, out there, it's a lot of shooters. Being able to create some different plays with different matchups. Shake is out there with us. So him being able to come off pick and roll. Certain times I'm able to be able to space the floor for him to come off there. So just I use that opportunity to be aggressive, but also to play free out there with everybody else and us to just make a run. And my second unit is big, and we want to be one of the best second units in the NBA because we know we're going to need that come playoffs during the season.
Thanks, T.
Yep.
All good. Thanks, Tobias.
All right.
So that was Tobias, everybody.
He wants to do 30 questions. That's a lot.
What's going on? Oh, we got Ben now.
All right. Ben Simmons. First question goes to Lauren.
Hey, Ben. When you and the rest of the starters all play on the road, you guys have been undefeated. So how does it feel to know that you're setting the same precedent on the road as a group as you are at home?
It's great. We have a lot of things we're trying to build up, and every game's different. We try to come about what the other teams. Focusing on too much is more about us and what we need to get better at, what we need to do to win games. I think we've been good on the road, and we just got to keep it going.
Thanks, Ben.
Paul Hudrick, then Mark Narducci. Go ahead, Paul.
Hey, Ben. Just on Matisse, I remember last year you were really high on him even coming into his rookie season, but it seems like he's really come a long way as far as his discipline defensively. Just what have you kind of seen in his growth from last year?
Yeah, he's maturing a lot. Overall defensively, he's gotten a lot better. He picks and chooses when he's gonna, take more riskier plays, with steals and things like that. But tonight you saw he was all in Rubio. Getting a lot of deflections and making it tough all over the floor. So he's going to be a huge part of this team.
Thanks,
man. Looks like we lost Mark's hand. So let's go to Kai Carlin. Go ahead, Kai.
Hey, Ben. So, what more can you really say about Joel? It just kind of seems like these performances that he's continuing to have are just coming naturally at this point. So what more can you really say about the guy?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
He's been very consistent. He's working hard, and we're trying to find him down low. We know every night is not going to be the same night. Depending on who played, they might send a double, triple, whatever it is. But he's been willing to pass it out of the post, and he's making right plays, and he's going to continue to get better at that. It's hard to guard us when you send 2 guys over. We got a bunch of shooters in the wings. So he's doing a great job.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you.
Austin Crow.
Hey, Ben. So I'm curious, you guys, go on the road and you're there's not a lot you can do because you're kind of confined to the hotel. Do you feel like you've sort of taken more of a leadership role off the court and sort of, being there for the young guys and, sort of, demonstrating how to live life in the NBA?
Yeah, to an extent. Everyone's their own person, but I try to make the right choices with the guys around. It's one of the things you do notice when as years go on. New guys, new faces are coming in, younger guys are coming in. You're just trying to show them the right way. Try to do the right things and be a good leader. But those guys know they can come to any of us and ask us questions with whatever it is. And it's also not a typical NBA season for them, so there's a lot of things they haven't experienced yet.
Sure. We'll do two more, Jason Blevins and David Landra. Jason up first.
Hey, Ben. Tobias Harris seems to be just entering his prime. You're still a couple of years away, really, from even entering your prime. Do you see that 2 years of playing with him, sort of where that growth happens in that age range?
So I think overall, I've been watching Tobias since I was in high school, and just developing over time. Just keeping at it and working, and staying in the gym, and being willing to learn. That's one of the things with Tobias. He's the few years I played with him, he continues to grow. His defense the first year that I played with him wasn't the same as it is now. He takes more pride in that. It's just little things like that overall that continue to build the players that we are. And everyone's different. Everyone goes at a different speed. Yeah, but overall, he's definitely gotten a lot better since I've been playing with him.
Great. Thank you.
Final question from Dave.
Hey, Ben, I got a two-part question for you. One, can you talk about the way how you guys took over in the third quarter? And secondly, can you just discuss the way how you guys were able to build off that win against the Lakers to come into tonight and then try to build off that going forward?
Yeah, I think whenever you beat a team like the Lakers, you don't want to get too high, on that win. We still got plenty more games to play, so that win was great. But we had to come here with the same mindset, and that's to win and dominate. So for us, it was going into the paint with Joe. I don't think they sent many doubles at all. Based on the first half, I think Joe was like 1 for 8 in the first half, and then came out and we stuck with it. The first play they didn't stop it, so we just kept going back to it. And we've been running our sets all the way through. So once you're able to do that and be consistent with that, and have the guys in the right spots, it's hard to guard.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Great, all good. Thank you, Ben.
All right, that was Ben Simmons' interview, press conference, post-game press conference after the Minnesota Timberwolves. Let's start. Jason.
Can I just say,
yeah,
Jason, I loved that question. Like that, what getting him to talk about that, I don't know. Just to me, I really gave me a lot of insight of what he was trying to look forward into and different things. So I think that was a phenomenal question.
I appreciate that. I was surprised that he said he's been watching Tobias since high school, but I think they're both. I think Ben is at that point where he can look at a guy that's really just 28 and look ahead and say there's a huge opportunity for growth still.
Can like my whole take on that question was, can Ben see Tobias's growth defensively and reverse that for Ben's development offensively, within the next 2-3 years? Any thoughts on that, Jason?
I mean, we've beaten up Ben's offensive limitations.
We have Furkan coming up next.
Ooh, Furky.
Furky with the jerky from the turkey for Nadir.
We got Furky coming up, everybody. Furkan Korkmaz.
This is the lights. Here we are indeed. Yeah, you like this is lights? I would terrible. No.
All right, let's get started. Lauren Rosen's first.
Wait, is that Furkan or Rob?
It's Alex Tubers.
Oh, sorry. I always get you guys mixed up. Furkan. How good has it felt to be back on the court with your teammates and to have a really productive evening tonight with them?
First of all, it was a really good win. I think we've been rolling last couple games, especially last 2 weeks. That's why we gotta keep going at it, keep winning. Especially, I think we built that habit, but that doesn't mean we need to be relaxed to stepping in the court. Opposite, we need to be more aggressive, trying to finish the game earlier. I know it's not easy to win the games, but I think we have that potential.
The unit that you've been playing with Tobias, Matisse, Dwight, Shake, how has that felt to you? Because you guys have been able to hold on to or create some pretty big leads in the last few games.
I mean, today, especially today in the third quarter, I think we did a really good job, take the lead a little bit more up. We are still trying to find the rhythm, especially with the second unit. First couple of minutes when we get into the game, we are a little bit struggling. But after that, when we get rolling, so the second unit has a lot of potential. I think we're going to be good.
Thanks, Rob.
We'll go to Serge.
Furkan ne haber?
İyiyim, sen nasılsın?
İyilik ya, ne yapalım aynen. Ya soracaktım Furkan, hala bacağından sakatlık geçirdin, maçtan oynadığın zaman ağırlık var mı yoksa komple iyileşti mi?
Ya tamamen iyileşti. Onu sadece Boston maçlarında hissettim. Çünkü döndüğüm maçlar Boston'ın birinci ile ikinci maçıydı. O maçlarda bayağı hissetmiştim o geri dönüşüm verdiği süreci, rehabilitasyon sürecini ama şu an itibariyle çok daha iyi hissediyorum. Özellikle bu ayak oyunları vesaire çok daha patlayıcı hissediyorum.
İkinci sorum şu, mesela şu an Türkiye'de bayağı genç bir oyuncu var. Alper Şengün, 2003-2002 doğumlu. Bayağı iyi oynuyor. Takip ediyor musun buradan?
Alper'in tabii ki takip ediyorum. Gerçekten bence inanılmaz domine ediyor şu an. Hem ligi hem Avrupa Ligi'ni. İki tarafı da takip ediyorum. Umarım bir an önce de beraber oynarız. Çok fazla potansiyelin olduğunu görüyorum Alper'in. Ve çok daha zeki bir oyuncu, akıllı bir oyuncu bence bir uzuna göre. Onun yapabileceklerini gerçekten sahada izlemek de çok keyifli. Çünkü genelde onun sayesinde, onun tipinde oyuncular böyle çok heyecanlandıran oyuncular olmuyor. Çok ara ara çıkan oyuncular oluyor o şekilde. Ama Alperen bence çok özel.
Eyvallah, sağ ol. Jason Blevins for Furkan.
Serge just stole my question. No, I'm joking. Furk, so I've seen a lot of progress from you defensively this year. How much of that is just you're in the league? You've been in the league now for this is year 4, I guess. How much of it is physical development, growing into an NBA body, and how much of it is like these new coaches and the assistants working with you?
I mean, defensively, of course, I got bigger, over the years. I got stronger, but I think most important thing for me, when you stay on the court, when you play more, you get the experience, especially in NBA. The scouting is like really big thing. I'm reading scouting report every game. Who I'm gonna guard, big guards, doesn't matter. I'm trying to find their weaknesses, read their weaknesses, and then I'm just trying to be consistent with the game report, scouting report. I think that's huge for me. Of course, when years goes over, I'm feeling better on the court. I feel more confidence. Confidence is not coming from offense, comes from defense too. I think today was one of the defensive day for me.
Yeah, thank you.
Any final questions for Furkan? Does not appear to be the case. All right, all good. Thanks, Furk.
All right, have a good night.
All right, Nadir is a happy man in this post-game show.
Hey, I got a joke in. I got a rare joke into a post-game press conference.
Jason,
I like the joke. That, by the way, that would have killed. That would have killed if everyone was there. Everyone would have killed.
I would have. I just couldn't not. I had a feeling I'd be next because
you had to follow him. Yeah.
Yeah, Furk doesn't get a ton of questions, so I had a feeling since my hand was up, I'd be next, and it was just too good to not say.
Wow, so good.
All right, let's roll on to our player of the game. Justin, lead us off.
Yeah, I mean, I think my player of the game is going to be Danny Green. I know, obviously, we got Joel Embiid having a big night tonight, but Danny Green gets it done in every stat line that you ask for and does it efficiently. I mean, he was a plus 17 and he only had 3 points on the game. He had 3 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, shooting 50% from the field, 1 block, 2 steals. Like, there's not much more you can ask for from a guy who's just a good role player for this team. And because I know you guys are going to want to talk about Joel Embiid, I'm going to let you guys talk about him. But honestly, you can't ask for much more from Danny Green tonight. Go ahead.
What about you, Coyle? Player of the game.
My actually player of the game is Matisse Thybulle. Plus 13 tonight with 2 points. He was such a defensive monster. They even talked about him. A couple players tonight talked about during the post game, and he was my player even before I started hearing some of the interviews. But I'm just glad that what I saw is exactly what they saw tonight. I saw him all over the court, just putting himself into different positions. Ben talked about how he, was being aggressive when he needs to be aggressive. Doc talked about him, how he's just showing up when he needs to show up. So my player of the game, he's not showing up on the box score that you look at, but from the player of the game, it's everything that I enjoy when I watch a basketball game. That's what I like to see, and that's what I'm a very, very enjoyable player to watch tonight. So for me, Matisse Thybulle.
I mean, I'm going to say real quick, Matisse Thybulle definitely showed up in the stats with 2 blocks and 3 steals in the night. So, beastly night for him with defensively.
Yep.
Doc said it.
22 minutes. Is that right?
Doc said he deflected 12 balls in the third quarter.
Boom.
Yeah, and he only did that in 21 minutes. So,
21 minutes.
Great game for him.
What about you, JB?
I'm going to go with Matisse. I mean, you deflect 12 balls in the third quarter where your team essentially wins the game in that third quarter. It's deflection rate, baby.
We have to have one of the highest deflection rates in the league just for a team, but with having Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris now, and also Matisse Thybulle. Realistically, we got a lot of deflections on this team.
Yeah, no, it was great.
I'm going to cheat. I'm going to cheat, guys, and I'm sorry. This is the first time I've not done a player of the game. I'm going Doc Rivers. And I'm going to keep with it. Doc Rivers is my player of the game. You go to the Lakers game, you go to this game, which is definitely a trap game. A game where you have your probably top 3 regular season performance of this season into this one. It was a super sloppy first half. They shot both teams shot 20% from 3. It was brutal. And then you look at this second half. The second half was all Sixers, 65-46 Sixers. You look at Doc Rivers' ability to adjust. The Sixers are the 4th best team in terms of second half points differential. I'm just blown away by Doc Rivers' ability to adjust, have his players ready to go when it matters. This is what it's becoming. The Sixers are forming an identity. The Sixers are forming an identity of being an elite defensive squad in the second half, and that is what matters when we're talking about playoff basketball. Let's go on to grades. Justin,
real quick, before we go on to grades, I need to give Joel Embiid some love because I really thought one of y'all were going to talk about it.
We should just table that because I'm pretty sure he's going to talk tonight. So
let's go into grades then. We definitely need to give Joel Embiid some love. I literally went Danny Green because I was okay. Someone's going to talk about Joel Embiid, and I'm going first. So I'm just going to go with I mean, mind you, Danny Green had a good night all around, definitely, as what his role is on this team. But damn, did Joel Embiid have 37 points tonight. Anyway, so let's go to grades. Do you want me to go first?
You go, man. You go.
All right. I'm going to give tonight – they had a bad shooting game in the beginning of the game, but overall came out the dub, had a good game, got away with the win pretty well. So I'm going to go A. I think this, like was said before, this is a trap game. This is a game where right after you play the best team in the West, you play the worst team in the West. And it's one of those games that could be a killer for the team's momentum. The fact that they were able to get this win, the fact that Joel Embiid was able to stay on the floor, and they were just all around able to get a good W at the end, I'm pretty happy with it.
What about you, Coyle? How would you grade tonight's performance?
What this comment right here, that one that just said, Doc adjustments are great. This team is a tale of two teams. Every game now. Every game that I've watched has been two different halves. And so
Everyone,
I
we've got
think this is
Joel's coming.
Coming up.
All right, Joel's coming on the board here.
Joel,
You unmute.
questions?
Thanks, Matt.
Yep, no problem. Kai will be first. Kai Carlin, go ahead.
Hey, what's going on, Joe? So these performances, as I say, they kind of just seem they're becoming real natural for you. Where have you been able to find the consistency, and just have you been able to just keep going with these great performances every night?
Just gotta do my job. We gotta win games, and the only way to win games is, to play defense and score the ball. So tonight we had a slow start, especially me. But at some point, especially in that third quarter, we locked in on defense. We got some stops, and on offense, we scored every time.
Thanks, Joe.
Keith Pompey, go ahead, Keith.
But Joe, did you say in that third quarter, like, hey, I got to go to work? I mean, it seems like you scored the first 8 points in that quarter. I think you shot what was it, 6 for 7? You had 16 points. Can you just take us through that third quarter?
With the back tightness, I wanted to make sure I give us the best chance to, kind of close it out and also get some rest so I can play, so I can hopefully feel good for the upcoming games. I just have to lock in defensively and then offensively, just take matters into, my own hands and just be aggressive. I started off bad, and, I needed to make up for it. But as a team, we did a good job. The credit goes, to my teammate that found me. I had a hot hand and they couldn't stop me, and they kept feeding me.
How important is it for you to keep playing in all these games? It seems like, I know questionable, but you seem like you still gutting it out to play.
It's important because we gotta keep building on that chemistry. Especially when you have big wins against, the top dogs, the Lakers. You gotta keep building on those type of wins and, go on the run and hopefully get that 1 seed. And we did it tonight. We playing Indiana the next game. We need to come out with the same fire that we had in the third quarter and, just play hard.
Thank you, Joe.
Sending it to Lauren Rosen next, and then Jason will be after that. But go ahead, Lauren.
Hey, Joel, it seems like you and Tobias have developed a stronger chemistry on the court together over time, finding each other. How are you feeling on court alongside him when he's playing as well as he is?
It's been good. It's been consistent the whole season. I've been preaching a lot about him. This year, he should be an all-star. He deserves it. He's been consistent all year. At times he's carried us. He's done a fantastic job of leading us the whole season. He's been amazing. And obviously on the court, he's doing a great job. And, all I can do is, help him and also help all my teammates by making great decisions, by fitting them, by setting good screens. We do it as a team.
Jason Blevins.
Hey, Joel. So, 2 questions, both related. How did your back feel yesterday morning when you woke up?
Oh man, it's been pretty tight. But like I said earlier, you gotta keep pushing. I want us to build momentum. We gotta keep winning these games, every single one of them. And tonight can help me in the long run, where I don't have to play 30 minutes or more. So we just gotta keep doing it. But no, it's tight, but that's not an excuse. You just got to keep it going.
And over these last 2 days, How have you managed to get that back loosened up enough to play tonight? What was that process? Like, how often are you getting massaged, heat? What's the process?
Man, you do everything you can. Like you said, massages, treatment, lifting, cold tub. You just do, round the clock. Like last treatment that I had last night was around 1 a.m. So even if it means not sleeping, just make sure that the body is right. Obviously, sleeping helps a lot too. But treatment is the first thing. So little stuff like that matters, and you got to keep on going. It's hard, but that's what we get paid for, and you got to do your job.
Thank you.
Paul Hudrick.
Hey, Joel, kind of piggybacking off that, do you notice a difference? Like, obviously you are dealing with back pain, but do you notice a difference in the fact that you're doing better stuff with your diet and taking care of yourself differently? Have you noticed that kind of maybe helps you be able to push through these kind of injuries?
No, I still, going back to, talking to the nutritionist and the people that have been helping me, the goal was, to start, and it's not going to happen by the way. Like, if I had to give a percentage of, how I feel, especially working towards the goal that I have, I wouldn't even say that I'm at 50%. I still got a long way to go. And like we talked about, it's going to take a while. But you got to keep on doing the right things. And obviously, as the time goes, it keeps on getting better. But I just got to keep that mentality of, doing the right thing. And I'm sure at the end, it's going to end up paying off.
Thanks, Joel.
Time for one more. Jackson Frank will have the last question.
Hey, Joel. Obviously, drawing fouls has been a part of your game for a while now, but this year you've kind of taken that free throw rate to a new level. Was there anything you addressed this offseason to try and get easier shots at the free throw line, or anything you saw in film from watching back last year that's kind of led you to this kind of spike in free throw rate and getting easier shots at the line?
Honestly, when you talk about drawing fouls, a lot of people, I guess, call it flopping and all that stuff. But, the way I see it is just about being smarter than your opponent. You got to have a high basketball IQ. Like, I'm talking to the young guys. They're like, how can we draw fouls? Like, how can we get to the free throw line? I'm like, you got to be smart. Like, as soon as you feel the contact, you got to go through it. And that's how you get fouled. But it takes more than that. Like, it can turn into turnovers, and you got to be smart about it. But, that's been the main emphasis for me since I came into the league. That's how you stay efficient. By going to the free throw line and getting those easy points. You don't have to work for it. And I have a knack for just getting to the free throw line. Sometimes I don't really understand how, but I just do. And I'm gonna keep on going. My goal every single night is to get the other centers or the other team's best players or in foul trouble, and I gotta keep on going, man. And it also gets harder for them to guard me because if you're gonna put your hand, I'm gonna get fouled. So now, like, if you want to guard me with your hands back, now I got to leverage to just back you down. I don't know, dunk on you or get easier shots. So you got to pick your poison as a defender. It's hard, but I'll take it and I'll keep doing whatever I've been doing.
And without maybe kind of giving away your strategy, was there anything you noticed about the way teams were guarding you that you maybe picked up on this offseason to try and even draw more fouls and get easier shots at the line?
I feel like I'm already doing enough, but I could always get better. Especially tonight was a different game plan. They didn't double team me as other teams I've been doing the whole season. So it was a little easier.
But out of double teams, there's a lot of ways where I can attack and still get fouls because guys tend to be extra aggressive when they come into the double. So I'm still figuring that part out. I still got to be a team player and, pass it out when they double me. But there's a lot of times where I'm watching games and I'm watching a film where, I can, use the aggressiveness to my advantage to get to the free throw line even more. So it's a learning process, and I still got a long way to go. I'm not even close to where I want to be, and I can't wait to keep on going and keep getting better.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, everyone, that's a wrap for tonight. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
All right, that is Joel Embiid press conference. Thank you so much, Jason Blevins. Let's break down Joel Embiid's game before we wrap up our post-game show. You'd look like first thoughts about Joel Embiid has to go straight to his true shooting percentage. 2018, 59.3%. 2019, 59%. And then this year so far, 66.7%. You look at the free throw rate, free throw attempt rate per field goal attempt. It went from 54.1 to 54.3 to 67.9%. Joel Embiid is simply eating at the free throw line, getting better looks, getting buckets. This guy is locked in. Justin, how would you grade Joel Embiid's performance tonight?
Honestly, A+. You can't. Obviously he wasn't being as efficient early in the game, but overall, when a man scores 37 points in 26 minutes and has no turnovers, that's impressive. Like it's come to a point for Joel and we talked about this a little bit earlier that it's for him. It's not necessarily that he's got to have more tools in his belt to beat teams. It's the efficiency that's going to really make a difference for him. And the fact that he is scoring that many points in that amount of minutes with no turnovers, getting to the line 18 times, I mean, they weren't even like no one can beat that. I'm sorry, you can't. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, Joel Embiid was 16 of 18 from the line. We were screaming during our watch party when we were like, what's the free throw record? And then he missed back-to-back free throws. And we're like, you jinxed it. You jinxed it. Because Dominique Wilkins was 23 of 23. That was the record, the human highlight reel. But anyway, Coyle, how would you grade Joel Embiid's performance?
I'm right there with an A. His shot wasn't working. The things that he was normally doing weren't working. So he literally adjusted his game and turned it. And I'm in the chat like talking to some people about this. He literally just said, you know what? I'm not making the shots that I'm normally making. I'm going to the freaking free throw line. And he did exactly what he talked about. Being able to draw fouls and knowing that how to draw fouls, or you know what, I'm going to do this. They're going to think I'm going to do this, and I know I'm not making shots tonight. Let me get to the foul throw line, and then hitting. I think what he shot was he 84% or was the team 84%?
Oh, I don't know. The team.
I don't know what the numbers. Something 84%. He shot 84%, or the team was.
The team was 84%.
Okay. And what did he shot? I think he missed.
He went 16 of 18.
So whatever the math is for that one, that's 90%. That's 90s.
Like he knew he wasn't hitting his shots and he adjusted his game. Like you can't teach a player like that is something, or you can teach a player that, and that's something that he's learning as he's getting used to this NBA, and the NBA is how he's doing certain things. I'm like, I am super impressed with Joel Embiid and how he is this year. Like I don't even know what to say. I'm so like, I love it. I love what I'm seeing right
now. Before I throw it to JB, like you saw it in that interview. The main takeaway from that entire interview was his maturation. This is a guy that you're seeing mature before your eyes. When this guy gets to the free throw line, the Sixers will win. When you post this guy up 15 or more times, the Sixers will win. You're seeing a guy being getting the ball in the post, having quicker reads, knowing what to do with the ball like that. When you look at the years past, this guy was confused. This guy didn't know what to do. The team wasn't moving without the ball in their hands. You're seeing a guy that is able to adjust and read and adapt. And this is something that is just really, really fun as a Sixers fan. I'm like humble right now that we're literally watching a guy that is developing into a pure MVP candidate. Jason.
We are watching a Hall of Fame player. Let's just embrace that.
Bask in that glory.
That's kind of what I hope my vibe gave off that.
Shaq.
I want to say
no, he's not Shaq. He's not Shaq. He's not Shaq.
I wish I'd asked a different question actually, because I really wanted to hear how he got from that fall to waking up yesterday morning to playing today. But question I really would have liked to have asked.
I liked your question, by the way.
Thank you. But that dream shake that he pulled off tonight into a turnaround jumper is art. You can count the number of people who have had that in their game on two fingers. Okay. Two people in the history of the game have had that. And it's something I first fell in love with this guy's potential when he did it as an 18-year-old at Kansas after only playing a couple of games and barely, still struggling with the English language. I'm going to give him an A+ today, and I never give A+, right?
Ooh.
But here's why. The dream shake, the production, everything you guys said was dead on. But I want to read something to you that I got yesterday from him. Some of you have seen this. I posted on Instagram. I posted the care package on Twitter.
JB, real quick, look at this comment.
Dream shake Milton. Yeah. But I want to read something to you that he sent to myself and some media people. We got his new colorway Under Armour Embiid shoes. They're very nice. It was in a nice wooden box. I'm looking right at it. But here's the note. Here's the note that he sent along. It has been a trying year. Luckily, basketball has provided us a platform to use our voices for good, escape when we need it, and stay connected as fans of the game. We're proud to unveil a shoe that embodies the city of brotherly love and celebrates the energy of this city and its rich basketball history. Thank you for supporting us. Please accept this gift of appreciation, and we look forward to an exciting 2021. So part of this is promotion, right? Marketing. But, I mean, this is a really genuine – this guy's funny in two languages, first of all. Who's funny in two languages?
Furkan Korkmaz, right?
Furkan, I was going to say, you beat me to it, Justin. Furkan.
I didn't hear Serge laugh at all.
Sergen, yeah.
He might only be funny in English. We are witnessing a Hall of Fame player, and they are rare. They are truly rare. Yeah. This is someone that people really need to understand what you've got, and it comes along every couple of decades. If
you wouldn't know it based on Philly sports media, sports radio. You wouldn't know it. You would not know.
I've met all those sports radio guys. Let me assure you, they should not be calling other guys out of shape.
Yeah, listen. Let me tell you this right now too. Is like the fact that this guy is so in love with this city and consistently every year says, "I want to bring a championship to this city. I want to be here. This is my home." These are my people. There's a reason why, like, obviously, Embiid is a showman. He is. He is going to go out there and he wants that show. He wants the energy. That's what he loves. He loves this team and he loves the city that he plays in. And I think a lot of times us as fans take that for granted. We don't think about how lucky we are as fans to have a guy like that here.
Yeah.
And I think we honestly as fans need to think about that a little bit more often. This guy, like JB said, like we've been saying for a while now on TPL, is a Hall of Fame talent and the best center in the league, and he's on your team. Stay
And do you know why he loves Philadelphia? He tells this story probably once a year. He'll tell this story. He sat out, everyone knows that he was drafted with a bone break in his foot. And for big men, that is a major risk. And he re-injured that late in that first year of rehab and missed an entire second season. And when he finally came back to the team and he was ready to walk onto the floor of the Wells Fargo Center, he expected to be booed. And what he got was 20,000 people in love with him. And from that moment, this is a story he tells once a year. From that moment, this guy is the guy that's playing tennis at night in Old City. He's the guy that's swatting shots at the park against
like 5-year-olds.
They look like 5-year-olds. They're like 25-year-old guys playing pickup.
AK Coyle.
I'll dunk on him.
I mean, it's very rare where you see someone who embraces the city and bakes themselves into that culture and becomes one of you and is a Hall of Famer.
As Stephen A. Smith says, he's box office. He is box office.
that was my big.
Okay, let me tell another quick story. This is another one. They did the blue-white game a couple of years ago and got rained out at the Palestra. A rain out in an indoor game.
Yeah.
Because it was so.
Explain to the people what the Palestra is real quick.
I hate you, Justin. So much.
Justin, are you kidding me?
I hate you so much right now.
So
the fact that you don't know what the Palestra is like kills me. Like,
no, I totally did that just to bust your balls too, because I know you get pissed.
No, you didn't. You're a lying son of a bitch. You're a lying son of a bitch.
Coil. No. Because we had this conversation the other day on stream. Yeah, I told him legitimately I didn't know what it was at that point because I didn't. Now I know.
Okay.
Justin, did you listen to Welcome to the Black Parade yet?
No, we've been on this.
As soon as we're done, you must.
I got you.
And then I want to tweet about it. I see a tweet from you recognizing. Okay, right. So here's the other thing. This game gets rained out. It gets rained out, an indoor game, because there's so much condensation from the humidity that the floor is wet. And Joel Embiid leaves. Everybody else, JJ Redick and I think TJ were in a Range Rover, and they're all pulling out in their $100,000 cars. Joel Embiid walked home from there. Now he lives in Old City. If you know where the Palestra is, that's over a mile walk. He walked through his city to get to his home. That's Joel Embiid. He is a different guy. He is one of us, and he's also happens to be, one of the most talented people to ever play the game.
Yeah.
And let's just remind everybody that he started playing the game like half his age after most people do.
He's been playing 11 years. He's been playing this game.
What the one thing that just I always remember is I remember seeing the one game where Shaq and Barkley kind of called him out on TNT, in front of a bunch of people, and he was just like, I'm going to work. I can't do a good duel, but I can. But he does like his thing that he always had. And this is the first time where I'm like, I feel like they're eating their words on like, you could be this or you could be this, where it's like, Now he's better. He's literally better than what they were saying, because they were saying you need to get down and you need to do like the old school center. But he's better than that. He's so much better than that. And it just, I don't know. This year, just watching him play, you're seeing a mind, you're seeing a body, you're seeing intelligence of basketball IQ that he didn't have. There's a whole lot of different things that he's just making so exciting for Sixers fans to watch. And I can't get enough of it. I just want to eat it up. Like, I just want to eat as much of it as I can, and I'm all about that life. So
Take it in. Just take it in, because
Sixers
Twitter, Philly Sports Radio will tell you completely otherwise.
Yep.
There are special things. There are seeds being planted right now, that you're gonna you don't want to forget. Jason, before we wrap it up, I want to ask you, because I think this is like another subplot of what's going down. You heard Doc Rivers talk about it regarding Matisse Thybulle. And we have talked and talked and talked during our watch parties. Is there going to be a consolidation trade regarding Matisse Thybulle? Do they need to add a guard that can defend the pick and roll? Do they need to add an upgrade that can be a more consistent threat from the perimeter? Matisse Thybulle, you heard it from Doc Rivers, raved about Matisse Thybulle. Is Matisse Thybulle here to stay, more so or not? And what is your vibe moving forward?
Well, his reemergence into the rotation says that it's one of two things. It's a showcase for, exactly like you said, a consolidation trade, because teams don't tend to want to trade for guys that are buried out of the rotation, or they're falling back in love with him and they're going to make a deal a different way. What I think they need is another power forward who can really stretch the floor. So Brian Jacobs is ringing the Lowry Markkanen bell pretty hard. Markkanen is expiring, and I don't think he's restricted. I don't think they tendered that offer. So he's one of those types of guys you'd want to look at. But I just feel like they want to wait as long as possible to see how the teams that come together and the teams that fall apart, I think just they're in a great point where they're winning more than 2/3 of their games. They can wait right till that deadline, pull the trigger in a really precise way without an overpay.
Here's the thing with that too. I don't like the nothing beyond the sheer. Like, I know that there's extensions, there's other things. That's always a trade that I just have never liked.
Yeah, even Markkanen's 23. He might be a guy you just keep around. I mean, I like Markkanen. I liked him at the draft.
Yep.
I haven't fallen as hard as I did on D'Angelo Russell. Let's put it that way.
Well, here's part of Markkanen's issue though, is he just cannot stay healthy. And when he is healthy, his production's not that high. And I don't know if that's based on Bulls' play around him or if that's based on his play alone, you know?
All of the above.
Yeah.
It's the Bulls. You
Probably.
don't know.
All right.
No. He does carry some risk.
All right. Let's wrap it up. Justin, plugs and final thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, guys, I'd appreciate it if you go follow me on Twitter at @J_Persichetti. I really appreciate that. And please, I know, and I said this yesterday, but I know Dibes is gonna say this, but please subscribe to the channel. Please like this video. We really want these post games to get out. We do these every single day, every single game, for Flyers games, for Eagles games, for Sixers games. I don't know Phillies games yet. We'll see what happens with those eventually, but we're here all the time, so please stick around. We love having you guys here. When you guys are here, we're here.
Cool.
Yeah. Go watch everything on TVL. I have nothing. I literally do nothing. I tweet.
Coyle, like by far, has probably been in more live streams than anybody here. Totally. And he doesn't want to admit it, but he was with me when we first started this whole YouTube thing. And he was part of that whole chaos and craptastic part, like when I was learning how to do this with YouTube and stuff. He was literally step one, ground zero.
Yeah. You left me at step one, you idiot.
Jason.
I just want to thank everyone again. Like, I'm reading the comments tonight, and they're so nice and they're so kind, and there's no arguing. I know it was a win, but I love seeing these same names, familiar faces, not faces, but names. Every night, it's the most rewarding thing for me when I hop on here. So I just really appreciate everyone who takes the time to spend with us. We've been an hour and 16 minutes on a post game, which is crazy.
Yes.
It's not. It's not, though. You got to give the people what they want. And this is what they want. They want.
I told Justin before I wasn't going to be on post game. I was past.
Yeah. Yo, I don't think the people understand. I texted Jason the other day. I was like, "Yo, you better hop on post game. People want you in here."
I heard that. I just wasn't up for it. Sorry.
You're here now. It's okay.
All right, my turn. 741 wins. 23 of 24 of his Temple teams reached the postseason. 17 NCAA tournament appearances, 5 trips to the Elite Eight, twice named National Division I Coach of the Year, 7 A-10 conference titles, Philly legend. I'm sorry to end this on a sorrow note, but this is a big deal for me. And I just want to say thank you, John Chaney. You just will continue to echo the halls of Temple University and what it means to be Temple tough. Thank you, everybody here, for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We are the TPL YouTube channel. Have a good night, guys. Stay awesome. Rest in peace, John Chaney.